Is there some tension brewing between Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion? Some fans seem to think so. Lately, people have been speculating that Megan might not be too happy about Cardi maintaining her relationship with Megan's ex, Pardison Fontaine. Megan recently dropped a new song called Whenever. It's a cool track. Megan did her thing and rapped like she always does, but if we're being honest, it sounds very similar to a lot of her previous work. At this point, I've come to accept that Megan's range is somewhat limited. She can rap, she can perform, and she's clearly talented, but musically there isn't a ton of versatility there. She actually reminds me a lot of Glorilla in that sense. Both have their strengths, but they're not artists who show a wide range musically. And honestly, people need to stop complaining about it. This is just who Megan is as an artist. She's not going to be as versatile as a Doja Cat, a Nicki Minaj, or even a Cardi B. And that's okay. Megan has her own style, and it works for her. Now, back to Whenever. I want to go over some of the lyrics because some fans believe Megan is once again throwing subliminal shots at Nicki Minaj. If you recall, Megan and Nicki have been trading subs for a while now. Last year, Megan threw a shot at Nicki's husband, which prompted Nicki to clap back with her song Bigfoot. Megan tried to get another reaction with her song Boa, but Nicki stayed silent. More recently, Megan even trolled Nicki during her Coachella performance by having her dancers dress up like Bigfoot, another clear jab. But again, Nicki didn't respond, as she's currently on hiatus. So when Nicki does eventually respond, let's not act like she's bullying Megan. Megan has clearly been trying to bait Nicki for engagement because, at the end of the day, controversy sells. Her song Hiss went #1 largely because Nicki responded. Megan knows exactly what she's doing. Now, there's speculation that Megan could also be throwing shade at Cardi B. In Whenever, Megan flips one of Cardi's lines from Enough. 1B, 2B, 3B, 4 inches. And many think this wasn't a friendly nod but a subtle dig. After all, weren't Megan and Cardi supposed to be cool? They collaborated, performed together, and hung out. At least publicly, they seemed friendly, so what changed? Allegedly, Megan is upset that Cardi is still working with Pardison Fontaine after Megan and Pardi had a very messy breakup. Pardi even dropped a diss track accusing Megan of lying, cheating, and being fake, and things got ugly. But Cardi has been working with Pardi for years. He's helped write many of her hits, so she's not going to cut ties over Megan's personal drama. From a business standpoint, it makes sense, but Megan might feel betrayed. In Whenever, Megan raps, "Hanging with ops, you a chop, do your thing, but that ain't how I rock. You hoes don't appreciate loyalty. I don't act funny, bitch, I act accordingly," which many believe is aimed at Cardi. Plus, in the video, Megan shoots an 8-ball, a symbol closely associated with Pardi, who has an 8-ball tattoo and uses the emoji often. It's pretty telling. However, Megan should understand that in this industry, there's very little loyalty. She knows that better than anyone. Remember, she once collaborated with Nicki Minaj, who helped her land her first top 10 hit, but then turned around and collaborated with Cardi, Nicki's longtime rival. It's just business, and the same applies here with Cardi and Pardi. Now, Cardi might be throwing her own shade back. Rumors are swirling that Cardi liked a shady post about Megan that said, "Tory Lanez is in jail making more money than Megan this month. No wonder she's still harassing him." Screenshots are circulating, but it's hard to say if they're real or edited. It's adding even more fuel to the speculation that things between Cardi and Megan aren't as friendly as they once seemed. Switching gears a bit, I want to highlight Coco Jones. She just dropped her debut album, Why Not More, and while it's not technically her first project, her What I Didn't Tell You EP was her breakout, there's a lot riding on this release. And honestly, I like the album. It's sultry, romantic, sexy, and very personal. You can tell Coco really tapped into a more vulnerable side of herself. Some early standouts for me are On My Side, I Like You, Nobody Exists, Here We Go, which is definitely a top song, and AE, which is just infectious and needs to be a single ASAP. I also liked Why Not More featuring YG Marley, which has a nice reggae vibe, and Taste was another favorite. That said, I do feel like Coco played it a little safe with this project. Her EP What I Didn't Tell You was phenomenal, so my expectations were super high. She had mentioned experimenting with more pop sounds, But honestly, I didn't hear much of that here. In fact, her EP had more up-tempo songs this album. Maybe plans changed behind the scenes, but it seems like she ultimately stayed in her R&B pocket, which makes sense because that's her strength. One thing that does concern me is the lack of promotion. Coco's done some interviews, a few performances, and dropped some videos. But overall, the lead up to the album felt very quiet. That's worrying, especially considering the success she had with her EP. I wonder if there's some anxiety about how it will perform given the low-key rollout.
I am about to drop my first album ever, and it's definitely emotional. I just want it to mean something. I just hope it means something. I feel like this is like so grim. Album is coming out, and oh, grog. I feel like I'm kind of grieving a little bit. Ew. People ask me, are you excited about it? Girl, no. Fuck no. This shit hurt me. Brings out the worst side of you, because it's supposed to. You gotta write about them. The album is out. The album is out. There's nothing I can do about it now.
So there are definitely some mixed emotions when it comes to Coco right now. You can tell she's been eager to release her album, but it also seems like she's feeling nervous about how it will be received. Honestly, I don't blame her. I feel like her label Def Jam is really dropping the ball here. Just recently, during her interview on The Breakfast Club, Charlamagne the God even called out her team for not properly promoting her project. He mentioned that the hosts weren't even given a heads up about her album before she showed up for the interview. That's a huge missed opportunity.
I'll tell you right now, Def Jam don't care about you.
Oh.
They sent your album at 7:44 a.m. this morning. And I said, no, we should cancel the interview because it's not fair to you as an artist, and it's not fair to us as hosts. And because you know you're sitting here now, and then you know people will be in your face talking to you about everything except for your music, and people will wonder why are they always just focused on the mess? Why are they talking about everything but our music? It's because your label didn't send it until 7:44 this morning. We're doing a show. Who got time to listen to the album? But that was the reason I was like, you know what? Let's cancel the interview.
Dang, so you still want to do it?
Yeah, we're doing it now, but I just like that. Lauren did a crash listen to the album.
Maybe that's why I was rushing for these papers, okay? Because I am a fan. I do feel like you deserve your moment, but it went down how he said it went down.
Yeah,
so we're here.
I didn't get a chance to listen to it. That's why Envy left. Envy was like, I ain't listen to it. I'm not gonna do it like that.
And he didn't say cancel. He said reschedule. He didn't
reschedule.
just say cancel you. He was like, we should reschedule it because that's not fair to either party.
It's not. You don't think? I don't think it's fair to you at all.
I love my labels. They do have my back. I feel I gotta speak for my team.
They need to do better.
I'm not gonna let you just say that.
They didn't send the album until 7:44 this morning.
Honestly, I wasn't a fan of how Charlamagne caught Coco off guard like that. However, I do believe he said what needed to be said. I know Coco doesn't want to believe that her team isn't fully behind her, but it's pretty clear that her label isn't as invested as they should be. Unfortunately, this is a pattern we often see with R&B artists. Labels just don't promote them the way they deserve, which is why so many talented artists end up flying under the radar. And that's simply unacceptable for a Grammy Award-winning artist like Coco Jones. That said, I believe Coco is going to be just fine. She's about to hit the road on tour, so she'll definitely have a chance to recoup some of that investment. Plus, I genuinely feel like she has the potential to land a viral hit from this album. If the label won't push it, the people will. Personally, I think A-Mom is a hit just waiting to happen. Anyway, let me know what you all think about this video down in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!